Alright, I am going to be ranking how much I enjoy every character in version 1.0 of Honkai Star Rail. So list is going to be based on not just gameplay, because I haven't played as all these characters yet, but it's also mainly going to be based on like the story and just how I feel about them as a character from what we have so far. Now, I've cleared all the main story. I've done a lot of like the side quests and stuff like that. So for the characters that I will comment on their lore, I have seen pretty much all of it. I might not have seen all of it, but like I got a good amount of it at the very least. So starting with Arlen, we're just gonna go in alphabetical order. I personally am not interested in Arlen at all. He's kind of just like he was there at like the beginning of the game. He had some scenes with Asta, but besides that, nothing has really made me think like, wow, Arlen is such a good character. So Arlen's gonna be in C tier. Next up, we have Asta. I honestly love Asta's gameplay, and I also think it's kind of funny, you know, as someone who used to play Genshin. Asta is not only has the same voice actress as Mona from Genshin, but also is like has like the whole like money thing. Although Mona's poor and Asta isn't, so at the very least she has that going for her. I wouldn't say her story is like the craziest compared to some of the other characters on this list, but I do enjoy. I have enjoyed like the side quests I've gotten regarding Asta and all that stuff. So I think Asta, I'll put her in A for now. Then for Bailu, I enjoy Bailu's gameplay, but we also don't have much info on her yet, just because she hasn't really been in like quests or anything. That's gonna change in 1.1. But because of that, I think I'm going to put her in B tier for now, just because we don't have much lore to go off of and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, once she gets more screen time, I'm sure she'll go up. But for now, I think B tier is good for her. Next up, we have Bronya, and I think Bronya is the first double S tier because she is very much... she's a very fun character for gameplay, but also I think her story is amazing. How she starts out as like a kind of like noble princess of Belobog, but then after she goes with you to the underworld and sees the truth of everything, she has like that revelation and she ends up fighting for what's really good, which is against her mother. And just like seeing her character development throughout the story, she was very well written. And yeah, I think she's definitely in that double S tier. Then next up, we have Clara, and I think just based off of like interactions with like the side quests and stuff like that alone, because I feel like for kid characters in video games, they either end up being, or not even just video games, but like fiction in general, they either end up being really annoying or like alright. But I think Clara is done really well. I think I'm gonna I'll put her in double S for now. She might move down to regular S though. I'll see how that goes. But Clara's story is honestly like really sweet. A lot of the time, it's like she's always trying to help people out. She has Svarog, who's basically like her dad, and when she starts talking to you, like with like the phone texting and stuff like that, she'll start calling you like, depending on which Trailblazer you chose, Big Brother or Big Sister, which is just like it's sweet for like a child character. So I definitely do enjoy. I'm definitely a Clara enjoyer, and she's gonna be the 5-star I pick with the like guaranteed 5-star for 300 pulls on the standard banner. So I'm definitely excited to get her, because I already have her light cone as well. Then we have Dunhang, and I think for him right now, I'm going to put him in A tier. I enjoyed him from the beginning, you know, being like the damage dealing type, and then also like the more like elusive of the Astral Express crew. But I also feel like with the stuff that we started to see about him at the beginning of the Lofu story, I think we're going to get a lot more about Dunhang, especially since in that story you're traveling separately. He's traveling separately from the Trailblazer on March 7th. So it's going to be interesting to see what more backstory he gets, and that might even put him up to like S or double S tier. But for right now, just with like the little bit we know about him and like how I feel about his personality, I think he's a solid A tier. Definitely a character who we've seen a lot, so like he's gotten a good amount of screen time for sure. Then we have Japard. For me, I think Japard's gonna be in S tier. His role in the story is honestly pretty simple. He's the like general, and he, despite his differences with his sister, he cares about her, and then he ends up supporting us in the end in fighting Cocolia. So yeah, his role is very simple, but like with the screen time he was offered, and also something that's gonna go against the Lofu characters is just lack of screen time, I think. But all in all, Japard is just like a good character. He's not like amazing in like double S tier or anything, but he's just a good character, I feel like. Then next up we have Herta. I'm honestly not like a big Herta fan or anything. We've had some screen time with her, but like not too much. But the one thing I'll appreciate from Herta is that she did, make Simulated Universe, and I think Simulated Universe is the most fun game mode in Star Rail right now. So, I'll give it up to that, but otherwise, her characters, at least to me, is kind of uninteresting. Like, it's cool that she's like a genius and like can make all this like technology stuff, but I'm not really like drawn into her character at all. So she's gonna go down in C tier with Arlen. Next up, we have Himiko. Himiko, I definitely enjoyed her early on with her character, but outside of like the beginning parts when we're on the space station, we really don't get to see a lot of exposition from Himiko. So I would like to see more from her story and stuff like that in general. So I think for right now, for Himiko, until we learn more about her and we get like more screen time with her, I think she's gonna be in B tier. I just don't think she measures up to the people that are in A tier right now. Then we have Hook. Hook is going in S tier for the sole reason of the companion quest that she has with her dad. Because honestly, like at first I was like, oh, Hook is a leader of the moles, and like the moles are just like a bunch of kids, and it was like, it's just like fun and cute. But then they had the quest with Hook and her dad, and those were like super heartwarming because like it was like they're poor, but they're trying to like give each other a gift for their birthday, but they end up not being able to use the gifts, and they like learn that they were only there, they really only need each other. And I think that's like a really sweet thing, and really great writing overall for them as well. So yeah, just from the storytelling, and it's also something you wouldn't expect from like a kid character either, for like that level of storytelling. So I really just enjoy Hook's story. I'm not a big fan of her gameplay, unfortunately, but that's not gonna be enough to take her out of S tier for me. Then we have Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan he kind of suffers from a similar thing from Bailu, except he's gotten a bit more screen time, to where like I just need to see more of him to have like a better ranking of him. But for right now, I'm gonna put him A tier because he definitely has had more screen time than Bailu, and honestly, I think more relevant screen time than Himiko because he's more directly related to the story right now. But I do hope once we get more main story content, we're going to be able to see more of Jing Yuan, because I think he's a really cool character, just like design-wise, and from what we've seen of him so far. So yeah, just definitely going to hope on that. Then we have March 7th. I think March 7th is S tier. She's honestly just a bundle of sunshine. She is always like, well, not always, but like generally is like the upbringing, like happy mood of the group. Because when I think of the group, I think of the whole Astral Express. So you have Dan Heng, who's like quieter, Trailblazer, who is just like whatever she decides to be. Then Welt is just like the older, intelligent guy, and then Himiko is just kind of there. Like Himiko just kind of vibes. So yeah, definitely like March's energy. They gave her a really interesting backstory with the way she was frozen, and then like the Astral Express founder. And I hope they go more into depth with that. Maybe like going somewhere that'll like trigger some of those memories to come back and stuff like that. If we can get that, that'd be cool. But for right now, she's just enjoyable to be around. And also, I kind of like compared her a little bit to because she was like the main like character that's with you. throughout the story. So at first, as like a previously Genshin player, I was like comparing her to Paimon, and she is infinitely better than Paimon to have around as like your main sort of companion. So March 7th gets that S tier. Then we have Natasha. I think Natasha is SS tier. She has a really good story of her not only being the wildfire leader in actuality, but also the fact that she had like the story about her brother, and she really just is super passionate about saving people and giving people care. And that tying in with all like the fighting that people in Belobog were doing, especially in the underworld, were doing to try to reconnect the underworld and the overworld and try to stop the crisis of the eternal snow, was just really great. I just definitely enjoyed her, and also her gameplay is fun as well. So yeah, I think she goes into double S for me. Then Pella. Pella is another character that suffers from lack of screen time, so she is going to go in B tier. Really, the only thing we know about her is that she like likes to read and stuff like that. We're gonna see more of her, thankfully, in the Belobog Museum event in 1.1. So hopefully that'll give us some more insight into Pella. But otherwise, she has like barely any story relevance right now, which kind of sucks. But some characters, it's just like that. Then next up, we have Ching Chue, and with a lot of the other like Lofu characters, it'd be nice if she definitely gets more screen time. But from what we've seen of her, she definitely is fun. I do think she is in B tier though. She has been in a side quest or two as well, of just being like kind of goofy and like kind of a mood when it comes to like working. But outside of that, she's not as she's definitely not on the level of the characters in A. So I think she just goes in B. Then we have Sampo. Sampo is gonna go into A tier on the sole fact that he's just funny. Like at the beginning of actually not even just the beginning, but like throughout a lot of the Belobog arc, whenever Sampo was on screen, it was very much a case of I wonder where he's going with this, and then he would do something, and I would always just find it really funny. So I'm really interested to hopefully see more of Sampo and see whether it be in like events and stuff like that, or maybe even like further plot. But Sampo is just a funny guy, and honestly, I always enjoyed when he was on screen. Then next up, we have Seela. I think Seela is also double S tier, not just because she's my main DPS and I love using her and my Seela goes kind of crazy, but also just her story was really great, being like the main like fighter in Wildfire, and not only that, but also her relationship with Bronya, in terms of them realizing that they had more in common than they thought, and they end up fighting together, which is definitely really cool. And I think she just has like a cool personality too in the story. Definitely hoping to see more of her as we get more events and content. Next up, we have Serval, and I love Serval. I think Serval, first of all, design-wise, is probably my favorite character. But in terms of like her story as well, she has... I really like her story of how intricate it is, because first of all, she is Japard's sister. I believe older sister as well. And she had a past with Cocolia where they were best friends, but then they ended up going their separate ways and like not being friends anymore and stuff like that. So and they have the quest with her basically burying the hatchet and like finally moving on from Cocolia. So yeah, I think Serval is probably one of my favorite characters for sure. So she definitely gets that SS tier. Then we have Su Shang. Su Shang is just, once again, maybe not on the same level as Sampo, even though they go in the same tier. She's just kind of funny. She's kind of goofy. And I like that energy, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, Su Shang will just go in the A tier. Hopefully we see more of her. Actually, we most definitely will see more of her once we get more of the Dan Heng, Su Shang, and Locha part of the main story. Then we have Ting Yun. And I definitely want to see... I kind of want to see more of Ting Yun, but in terms of like a story perspective, she was kind of just like there for me, personally. So in terms of like a story perspective and like how she is as a character, I think she goes in B tier. Gameplay wise, I love using her. I'm glad I got her. I've mostly built her for where I want to have her at, level wise and like light gun wise and stuff like that. But I think in terms of like her character, and maybe this will change with the main story continuation. Hopefully in 1.2, because they're not. I don't think they're adding anything in 1.1. We'll see what happens with her. Then the Trailblazer. Honestly, I think I'm gonna do female in A and then male in B. Just cause I don't know. When I saw the designs, I was like, yeah, I prefer the female model a lot. I thought the male one was just kind of okay. But like besides that, they are like pretty much the same character. And very interesting story with like them being awakened and stuff like that. But outside that, a lot of it is just like your decisions and like just where the plot takes you. But I'm interested to see if we get more, perspective on their story and stuff like that. Then we have the homie Welt. Welt hasn't honestly done too much, but I really like the screen time we've gotten of him so far. So I think for him, he definitely gets to the A tier. Because is just that smart dude, and he's always on top of things, and I definitely like that in a character. I also joke around because I'm a big Bleach fan. I say that's Aizen, that's my goat. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of Welt, and I can't wait till we do see more of him when they continue the main story. And then lastly, we have Yang Jing, and he also suffers from the low-fu characters not having enough screen time yet because the story isn't done. So because of that, and also we haven't seen him yet at all, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna put him in B. I feel like I'm only gonna put a character in C if I've seen them and like I don't really vibe with them. But yeah, I think Yan Cheng, hopefully we'll get more story content from him, which we definitely will get more in 1.1 for sure, but then maybe in the main story too, hopefully seeing him and going from there. And then also, if I could, if she was here, Kafka would be an S. Or not an S, she'd be in double S. She would easily be in double S. But yeah, that is my tier list of how I enjoy the characters in Honkai Star Rail. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.